Okay, so here is the deal. We are looking at a uniquely US-based graphite company with its Graphite Creek property located north of Nome, Alaska, which, if the company's Pre Feasibility Study is to be believed, will turn out a mind-boggling $350 million in after-tax profits per year in the future. Now, if that is true, if the company truly achieves $250 million in free cash flow a year, this company could easily become a $2.5 billion company or more. And if you compare that to the current market cap, which is about $150 to $160 million, depending on how you calculate that, well, that is a lot of return right there. So Graphite One is quite the interesting graphite project. But is it also a good investment? Well, that is the entire point of this video, to determine if Graphite One is a good investment. Before that, hey you, welcome to another episode in my series Graphite Stocks, where I hope to one day have analyzed every single graphite stock on the stock market. Today's topic is Graphite One, or these ticker symbols. And now let's start the analysis off with a company overview. Okay, so like we saw during the intro, Graphite One is focused on developing its Graphite One project, the Graphite Creek property, with the end goal of becoming an American producer of high-grade coated spherical graphite, which of course is the stuff that is being used in batteries. CSG, or coated spherical graphite, is the input required for almost all active anode materials currently in use. Now, where does the company currently stand in its path of becoming its, I quote, dominant American producer of high-grade CSG? Well, to be honest, they are barely at the starting point of this long-ass marathon. At the time of making this video, the company is somewhere between step 1 and step 2 of their roadmap. They have filed a PFS, or Preliminary Feasibility Study, back in October 2022, which we will of course discuss in depth in just a bit. And now the company is working on those other steps. So getting the full feasibility study on its way, working on the permits, creating access roads, starting mining, etc, etc, etc. So yeah, where the company currently stands isn't that exciting. It normally takes years, and I mean like 5+ years at least, to go from the PFS level to having a full operational mine. That is to say, do not expect any revenues for this company on the short term. And now regarding that PFS, this is basically the entire crux of that report, the annual post-tax cash flow prediction. We could dive into the resource, so how large and how pure it is, how the company plans to extract that material. All that information is in this report. But in the end, we investors only truly care about one thing: cash flows. And if the company is able to get their mine operational, holy moly, will it be lucrative. The company is forecasting an average after-tax cash flow of about $350 million per year for the entire 25-year stretch. That is mind-boggling. Slap on a 10x multiple somewhere at the start and we are looking at a multi-billion-dollar business. So from that perspective, upside potential surely is there. However, there is also the other side of the coin, the cost of the mine. And just for the mine and its on-site processing facility, we are looking at a price tag of about $1.2 billion. That is a lot of freaking money, which the company doesn't currently have. When the latest quarterly report was filed, the company was sitting on just $3 million in cash. Now, the company did raise an additional $11 million back in November 2022, so the company is sitting on a bit more cash than that. But even then, nowhere close to the $1.2 billion required figure. Moreover, I do need to highlight that we've been only talking about the mine thus far, at which graphite ore will be turned into graphite concentrate. For the CSG, or the coated spherical graphite, the company will need a second processing facility, which will cost hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars too. Okay, I believe you get the point. The company has insane upside potential because of that $250 million in projected free cash flow just for their mine. But also significant headwinds in the form of a metric shit ton of money required. Now let's talk about my opinions. from my personal view on how the graphite world currently is, I wouldn't personally invest in a company like Graphite One. Do not get me wrong. I wouldn't completely ban out buying shares of the company. But my point is, I need to be 100% honest with myself. Buying shares of this company isn't really investing. It is gambling. We have no idea how this company will raise the capital required, which I will remind you again comes in at least 1.2 billion US dollars for the mine and an unknown but most likely equally large figure for the anode material facility. And again, I do want to highlight that this company is worth just 162 million US dollars on the stock market on a fully diluted basis. And that tells us that there is no freaking way that the company will raise all this capital through the stock market. So the company will most likely need to load itself with significant debts on top of significant dilution. And how messy that picture will become in the future is what will determine your returns. If the plans succeed with minimal dilution and no significant debts, well then your returns as an investor will be phenomenal. And second, if the plans succeed but you are diluted into oblivion and the company has to load itself with massive debts, well then even if the plans succeed, your returns as an investor will only be abysmal anyways. So my POV is best summarized as really interesting company, mega interesting project, even more interesting financial metrics behind the project. But it ain't no investment. At best, it is a gamble. So if you decide to yeet your hard-earned money into this business, please, for the love of baguettes, keep that in mind. Also, you should know this, at the time of making this video, I hold no shares of Graphite One or any other graphite company for that matter, well, except Gratomic. I do hold a significant position in that company, so that is to say, my opinion on graphite players is biased. Now, time for a classic YouTuber disclaimer. While I am a registered financial advisor in the Netherlands, I do not have the legal capacity yet to give anyone investment advice. Therefore, this video and any other video on this YouTube channel can never be taken as financial advice. I cannot be held liable for the losses you make while trading according to my opinions. Please do your own due diligence. And with that said, thank you so much for watching. I love you all. Peace.